welcome back to the club. We're your hosts. I'm Ebony Chapman.
And I'm Akila Friends.
You guys, we are back in the studio. I'm so excited to have Akila back. Yay.
Yes, for those who don't know, I've been doing my little East Coast travels from the East Coast, and I needed a bit of a getaway for a little bit, but I couldn't stay away for too long. So here I am. We're back.
We are back. Okay, you guys. So today we are joined by self-made beauty expert and owner of Beauty Beez, which is a Black-owned beauty supply store located in North Hollywood, you guys. So please, let's welcome Brittany Ogike to the club. Did I say that right?
You said it perfectly.
Perfect, you guys. Welcome her to the club. We're so excited to have you. We're going to be talking about the beginning and take back of the Black hair care game. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're also going to be talking about the importance of being a Black-owned business that gives an elevated experience, how Black beauty is represented in media, and how hard is it to gain venture capitalist money for Black-owned businesses. Okay. So we have a cute little topic agenda for you guys today, and I hope you guys continue to stay tuned.
For sure. But how about we start with just like kind of more of a background? I think your experience is the experience of a lot of Black women. We can talk about ours as well, but what has your experience been like finding products for your hair?
Okay, so it goes back to just my childhood. I mean, as a little Black girl growing up in the South, I remember frequenting the beauty supplies with my mom, and hair was it was so important to me and my mom growing up in the South. Like I said, as a Black girl, it had to always be done. So Sundays typically were our hair care days, and we go to the beauty supply. We'll get our stuff, go home, and do whatever. If it was a perm, if it was braiding my hair, washing it, whatever. And so just growing up, just reminiscing about the beauty supply and how, it just hasn't changed over the past couple of years. I just felt like, why is that? You know what I mean? Like when starting a business, you always want to start with an answer to the why, an answer to the problem. And I just started realizing like my hair care journey over the years. I got a relaxer. My mom slapped the perm on my head when I was like 3 years old. So because there was no other options, right? There was nothing to quote unquote tame my nappy hair. And I just always lived with that. And then, I got perms growing up. And then about 10 years ago, I went natural, right when that whole natural hair care movement was starting. I was YouTube University, everything like, putting avocado in my hair, yogurt in my hair, because again, I couldn't find those products for my natural hair. And I would bounce back and forth between wearing my natural hair, my natural curls, and then straightening my hair. And then finally, I just got fed up and I started my own beauty supply. And so this is where we're at today with Beauty Beez, but it has been a journey. And up until recently, when I started the store, is when I found out all these products. And again, I think because of the natural hair movement, there's been an influx of products and innovation in this space, but it only occurred recently. It hasn't been like that for decades past.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Keeks and I can definitely relate to the hair care game. It is just really difficult. I think I got a perm when I was like 13, or a relaxer, essentially, not a perm.
I know, we're not saying, I said perm too.
Right? When I was 13, because I don't know, I felt like it was going to be easier. And at the time I felt like it was a good idea because I was at a private white school, and we had first period gym class and we were in the pool. So
no.
Yes, girl. Can you imagine me over
That is
here?
traumatizing.
And mind you,
First period. They tried it.
First period. And my mom does my hair all the time. So I had no even idea how to do my own hair. And so I'm like, I'm so thankful for this perm, because I don't even know what I would have been doing looking crazy at school all day for the first semester. Like it would have been really bad.
Would have been so bad. And for me, I can relate to you because I had a perm. I think the first time I had a perm was probably like, let's say 5 or 6. And so like that was,
a little kitty perms. Like,
kitty perms, but also the sense of it's just was
for me.
It was those things where it's like no one really thought about the idea of, oh my gosh, we have to have natural hair, not even owning your hair or feeling like it was a saying that, oh my gosh, your natural hair is bad. It was really more so, let's just maintain the hair that you have. Like, let's do that. We're going to do the hot combs. We're going to do we're just going to straighten it so that we can put the bubbles in and call it a day. And so that's kind of was my experience for sure, doing it for the longest time. And like, honestly, to this day, it's still like, I love experimentation. I love trying out new styles. I love doing this or that, but it's always comes back to how do I maintain it and where can I go to really make this happen?
And what are the products to use, right? Like I remember studying abroad. And again, now my first time ever doing my hair alone by myself, I went there with braids. And then after 3 months, I was like, well, I have to take these out. Like, this is crazy. And I was literally, like you said, YouTube University, and they had like Eco Styler gel, which I had never even heard of before. And I was like, okay, I guess that's what I need to get the hair. To get my hair like gel down. Like I had no idea. It's literally my first time ever touching my own natural hair. And so I had the roommate who was white that I was staying with in a homestay. Her parents were coming to visit. So I had my mom ship the Eco Styler gel to her parents in Maryland to bring it with them to Europe so that they could give me the hair product.
Isn't that crazy? As if there's no Black people in Europe. Like,
right.
It was a whole situation. And then literally when I tell you, I don't know what I'm doing, gelling down literally like the whole jar of gel on my hair to like figure it out. Cause I literally had no idea.
So then tell us, right? Because clearly we're talking about how we've kind of evolved when it comes to hair care throughout the years and what's available versus not. But from your experience, someone who's now very deep in this industry, like what are some of the trends that you've seen across the years, across the decades, or really honestly, even in these last couple of years? Because I think it's still has evolved so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. The curly hair movement is still here to stay, I think. And with that, there's products. Eco Style Gel, I will tell you, it still flies off the shelf in our store. I still use it. I love it. I think I probably have it on now. There's nothing that slicks your hair better than Eco Style Gel. So, you were onto something back then. But yeah, I do think that the natural hair movement is here to stay. What I don't like about it is just I don't know if it's like classism or what, when it comes to like people wearing their straight hair, not necessarily relaxer, but like silk presses and things like that. Those are great options if you can't manage your natural hair. And honestly, that's what I was doing. I did a big chop a few years ago, 2 years ago. Literally cut all my hair off. It was just falling out after the kids and stuff like that. And I was wearing my natural curls for a few years. And I just went back to getting my hair straight. And I felt some type of way about it, but at the end of the day, for me and my lifestyle, it was more manageable. And I think that's perfectly fine. Braids are here to stay. We always do braids during the summer for vacations and things like that. Yours look lovely. That's the thing. Like there's so many options with Black hair. And it's why I just have such this passion for it, because we can never go wrong with whatever style we're doing. We have the faux locks. Those are still in right now, huge. In our store, we have a braid lounge where, people come and get their hair braided. And again, it's an elevated experience. We're booked and busy with that. Braids will never go out of style. So there's so many styles and so many trends that, again, like I said, are here to stay. And I don't see going out of style. Crochet, people still love it. It's easy. It's a great protective style. I don't see anything wrong with it. Wigs, obviously, a huge protective style. Everyone loves it. You just can't go wrong with Black hair.
You can't at all. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. I want you to also just, because I like what you were saying with the whole silk press and straightening too, because I do feel like, as part of this natural hair movement, or I don't even know if it's a movement anymore, like literally the choice of wearing your own hair and your own hair and wearing it naturally is amazing. But I do sometimes feel there's a bit of a look down with folks who decide to get perms or decide to get relaxers or decide to get silk presses. I think there's a level of like, you don't like your hair, like you're not appreciating what you have. And it's like, no, I love it, but sometimes it's a situation where for maintenance or just, right now, this is not the season for the natural hair that I want to do it for.
Exactly.
A couple years later, but just talk about that a bit, about if you also feel like there is a bit of in part of us accepting our natural hair, there's a bit of a look down for folks who choose to wear their hair
Yeah, I feel like it is sort of like a prejudice against, people who want to wear their hair straight, Black women who want to wear their hair straight. And I mean, I feel like it's unfortunate. It's unwarranted. Again, I chose to start straightening my hair just a few months ago. Again, I had a new baby. It's easier for me to just wake up, unwrap my hair and go. I love my natural curls. I do prefer the silk press over the relaxer, just because we've heard over the years how bad and harmful relaxers are, especially for Black women. There are studies saying they contribute to fibroids and all kinds of other health issues, specified towards women of color. And so yeah, I think it's just more about embracing who you are and how you feel your best self. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have a blonde wig on or if you're wearing your 4C curls. It shouldn't matter. Again, that's the beauty of being a Black woman and having these different ways we can wear our hair.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I love the fact that like we're so versatile, like we are creative. We come up with like just the different hairstyles, like things you're like, dang girl, that's actually cute. Let me go get this
right.
Half up, half down, braids to the side, 3 braids in one. Like we be doing it. We really do. I really want to talk about too, since you do own a store, that I feel like majority of the products in there are pretty much Black owned. I mean, it varies, but
right.
Pretty much for the most part it's Black owned, and just how the takeover has happened, because for a while it was kind of like a Korean owned industry, and then I think whoever it was, woke up and was like, what the heck going on? Why are we spending so much money with other people when it's like we're the ones really spending the most money, because we're the ones that are doing the hair trends, and we're so concerned about our hair and not like wanting to wear it natural or wanting it to be straight or wanting it to have the wigs. Like we're spending the money in this hair care industry, but yet it's not going to our community. And Absolutely. So talk about that too, and how you kind of seen the transition, because I know it was like Shea Moisture, for example, like was Black owned, but then they sold it to someone white and then they got it back, and just all the different types of products that you now have been like, okay, yeah, we have elevated.
I mean, Shea Moisture definitely was a game changer in the Black hair care space. I'll still give them props to this day, because they paved the way for a lot of brands, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, it's been a journey, honestly. Like when we started the store, I didn't realize that I would be speaking mostly to Korean or white men. You know what I mean? I didn't realize I'd be working with them as much as I thought, especially specifically men. I mean, I'm thinking like, okay, it's a Korean dominated industry. When I go into these stores, I see men and women, but I'm sure like the women are, making the decisions and stuff. But actually that wasn't the case. I deal with a lot of men and Korean men and white men all the time. But again, I felt like as a Black woman, there were certain pain points in the retail experience that I was having. I've mentioned this before, I get all my essentials for my hair care at a beauty supply, but I have to go to like a Sephora for my makeup or an Ulta for my skincare. And I'm just like, why can't we have, a one-stop shop for us, by us, right? And at the same time, why can't the beauty supply feel like the Sephora? Why can't I have that elevated experience? Why does the beauty supply look so ragged and why are products all over the shelves and wigs, stacked on top of each other? Why do I feel, just uncomfortable in the beauty supply when it's supposed to be a store dedicated specifically for my needs? That's kind of was my inspiration or motivation behind Beauty Beez, just to create more of an elevated experience and a place where Black women can get their hair care, their skin care, their body care, and also their makeup. So yeah, I mean, it is an industry that was kind of cornered by the Koreans, for whatever the reasons may be. But I just feel like they aren't doing a great job of catering to our needs specifically. And one of the things I found that when I was researching on starting the store, I'm like, one of the things that pissed me off going to beauty supplies is I felt like things that I was buying wasn't working for my hair. Again, I'm in this natural hair movement. My curls, I want my curls to pop. I want them to be juicy and lively, like I see, on all these influencers who are making their stuff at home. Why aren't there products for us for these specific needs? But there actually were. It's just the beauty supply wasn't carrying them. And most of these products are Black-owned products because they're created by people who were solving their own problems, solving their own pain points. And as I was doing my research, I was just uncovering all these beautiful, great Black-owned brands that, need a space in a retail store. Before the whole Black Lives Matter movement with Sephora and Ulta, before all this stuff, there was no store, that sold these products. And I'm talking about the Miels and the TGINs and there's so many products, Black-owned products that are just great for us, for our hair care needs. And so, yeah, that was one of the great things in building the store, just discovering these amazing Black-owned brands. And that was my mission for the store, is just elevating these brands, bringing exposure to these brands, and again, satisfying the needs of Black women.
I want to talk about, or really point out, the fact that you are a store versus, Beauty Beez singular product, right? Like, it's so interesting when a lot of folks talk about, hey, I noticed a problem in X or YZ market, I'm going to change it. And the change is usually like, I'm going to create a product that is that, that change. I'm going to create the natural hair care product or this or that. Like, what was the impetus for you to say, no, the choice is distribution instead of another product? Like, why did you decide?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was in this crossroads, right? After having kids and starting a family, I have a career in sports and I just wanted something different. I wanted to have my own business, but I didn't really know what I wanted to have my business in, like what industry. And I was passionate about sports, still love sports, still work in sports, but I knew I was also passionate about beauty. But I'm like, I don't want to create another product. It's been done, again, what are those pain points? And that's kind of what led me to creating Beauty Beez. Honestly, right now, and people are going to be mad when I say this, the market in terms of like hair care, body care, when it comes to beauty is oversaturated. I mean, I get hit with dozens of solicitation emails a day for people wanting their brand in the store. And I just wanted something different. I'm like, how can I really make an impact? But how can I do it with something that I'm passionate about? And I had all these different experiences at the beauty supply with my daughter, with my grandmother. One day my husband called me. He's like, yo, there's this beauty supply down the street. It's always packed. Have you been there? I'm like, yeah, I go there all the time. I hate it. I was about to cuss. Like, I hate it. But it just got my wheels turning. And I'm just like, if everyone's shopping at this one beauty supply and the experience is horrible, imagine if we created a better experience, would Black women especially appreciate it? And, could this be a game changer? And are there other Black women or Black-owned beauty supplies in the area doing something like this? So I just started doing my research. There are a lot of Black-owned beauty supplies in the LA area. They're more towards like South LA, but there was nothing in the Valley. And so, like I said, all these thoughts just got my wheels turning and kind of led me to creating Beauty Beez. And it's something that I said, if I did it, I wanted to do it purposefully, intentionally, and I want to just create a safe space for women of color.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like what you created is a space of like safe haven in a sense. Like, I think our hair, like as Black women, is so precious and sacred. Like, I think we take a lot of pride in our hair. We're very like, there's a lot of importance on our hair, whether it's short or long or wig or braid, whatever it is. Like, we just take it's a lot more of importance than like in other cultures.
Right.
Maybe it just takes there's a longer history, it takes longer to do. Like,
and it's so different. That's the thing.
It's so different.
When you compare like races and ethnicities, one of the core differences between us and other cultures is the hair. Like, you know,
right.
like all different shades,
Right.
you know, but
The
really
hair
our
texture.
hair texture
Yeah.
is
And it
that different.
varies,
and
right?
it varies.
It varies.
With our
Varies even
skin
there.
color, with the hair texture, like,
Yeah.
you know, because people think, oh, like if you're light, you have X amount of skin texture, but it's like, nah, that ain't true. And people
Across
who
the board,
right.
right.
And I'm like, people who are on the darker skin tone have beautiful long hair and curls. So it's like it varies in so many different varieties, and like people don't really necessarily understand that outside of us. So it's like, so I love what you're doing to be able to kind of like create a space where there's hair care for everyone, because going into Sally's beauty supply is not cutting it at all. They have literally zero.
Can I tell you, the first time I went to a Sally's was like, not even when younger, like literally older. And I was like, you know, when people say, oh, I'm going in the beauty supply store, I'm automatically thinking that raggedy shop on the corner. Like, I'm not thinking of Sally's.
Absolutely not.
What is a Sally? And I walked in there and I was like, yeah, it's a little elevated, but still I was like, this aisle is not for me. This aisle is not for me.
No.
Maybe I can get a scrunchie I like, but like
I never even realized that though, right? Like I didn't even realize how limited Sally's was, because that's the place my mom would always go to.
Really?
Until,
wow.
Yeah,
okay,
until until like now, until like recently, and I was like, wait, they don't have anything. Like you go back and I'm like, oh my God, like they literally have zero. They have braiding hair and that is it, and maybe a wig.
Yes.
Like they ain't got.
Let me tell you, the only time I would go into a Sally's was on a Sunday, because the beauty supply is always closed on Sunday. So if you need something, like if you're in desperate need of something, the last resort is a Sally's, because the beauty supply is typically closed, which is why I made sure we're open on Sundays, because I thought that was so weird. Like Sundays is when we do our hair anyway. Wow. So like for last minute wash day essentials, you know, you want to run to the beauty supply and get whatever you need, but it's closed. So we would have to go to Sally. You run out of braiding hair. Okay, Sally's has that one brand of braiding hair that burns your fingers, and it's just
right. And who knew that
so many sometimes?
Who knew there were so many options of braiding hair? But I also want to talk about this elevated experience that you are giving to us, because I feel like that was an important thing that you touched on, and I just want to like give it its moment. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Beauty Beez, but let me tell you, it is gorgeous. It is
Thank you.
Beautiful. Everything is like stacked up. I mean, tell us just like the vision when you decided. I mean, you told us a little bit like you wanted an elevated experience, but like what does that look like? What does that mean to you, and why, and like how were you like, this is my vision and this is how I'm bringing it to life? Because literally everything's lined up. You have facials and the hair. Like, tell us how did we do
So again, when I had in my mind I wanted to do a beauty supply, I'm like, okay, but how do I make it different, right? And the first thing I did was, one, branding. I had to make sure my branding was on point. And then two, I wanted to hire a designer for the store, because I wanted to integrate all the pain points I had as a customer into the design of the store. So again, go back to the regular, you know, beauty supply. It's all junked up. There's, you know, products on top of products, wigs stacked on wigs. You know, it's dreary, drab. There's no type of design or anything, no aesthetic to it at all. And so I wanted to change that. So I wanted to make sure, you know, we had a nice, modern, clean look, a beautiful aesthetic to where when you walk in, you feel, you know, at peace and comforted. One of my issues with shopping at a beauty supply with wigs was that you have to do it out in the open. Like there's no privacy. And I went there one day with my grandmother, who's a cancer survivor actually, and, you know, needed a wig, and she had to take off her wig in public. You know, she's balding. What happens when, you know, customers with alopecia or other, you know, issues are shopping for wigs? You have to do it out in the open. You have to take off your, you know, your wig or whatever and expose yourself out in the open. I just didn't like that. There was no privacy. There was no intimacy in it. And so we created beautiful wig suites. So when customers come in and try their wigs on, they do it in the privacy of the wig suite. They have a dedicated team member that can assist them. Even we're measuring your head to make sure this wig even fits you. and letting you know what styles fit your head, the shape of your head and things like that. So we're trying to create more of a custom tailored experience when you're shopping for a wig, unlike at the typical beauty supply. Even the wigs that we have on the wall, we call it our wig wall. We're very intentional about the type of wigs we put on there. We're very intentional about the design of the wigs and the mannequins of the wigs. We have beautiful bronze bald-headed ladies as our mannequins. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure it was, I always say elevated, but I also say accessible, because we wanted to make sure that our prices were competitive. We're not price gouging or anything like that. I hated going to the beauty supply. And this was like right before I opened Beauty Beez. You'd go to the beauty supply for a bottle of shampoo, and then Target, we started selling the same type of stuff, and it'd be like $5 cheaper at Target. So I wanted to make sure our prices were competitive. And as we opened, we got customers, and it was going great. But then customers start asking for services, or referrals for services. Hey, I'm buying all this braiding hair. Do you guys know a braider? Oh, I love the skincare. Do you know someone who can do facials? Or where can I get my eyebrows done? And it's crazy because after the build out of the store, we still had this space in the back that we weren't utilizing. I just didn't know what to do with it. We just happened upon this huge space, and we had enough retail space. So I was just turning it into offices. And then after we just got all these requests from our customers, I'm like, well, how about we turn it into a beauty bar? So we hire, talented braiders, estheticians who are skilled on Black skincare to come in and fulfill our clients' requests. So we end up opening a beauty bar where now we do hair braiding, we do facials, we do waxing, all kinds of other wellness services. And again, it goes back to being that one-stop shop for Black women. We just really want to create this space where Black women are seen and heard and can play in a world full of beauty, really.
That's incredible. And, to be honest, like, I love it because as a consumer, obviously a consumer is of like Black hair, skincare products, et cetera. For me, you don't really know what you're kind of settling for until you hear that something else is out there that's better, right? Like, I remember even going in, and at first when I started in the wig game and thinking through like, okay, let me go to this beauty supply store. At least I would be able to try out this color or that texture or that style in person before I place the order online, because I knew it was going to be crazy regardless. And so even going in and knowing that, okay, I'm going there. Let me buy a wig cap, or I know I have to bring a wig cap and be ready because they're going to ask me to take off my hair right now. And clearly I want to wait because my hair is not done. so I'm trying to get all that together. And so knowing I need to pack a little, pretty much a going away bag.
Right. Because they're going to charge you for all that. Yeah.
Go to the beauty supply store because they will charge you more for that cap there. If you needed to, they will charge you.
They will charge you.
Sometimes they limit it to like, oh, you can only try on 3 wigs. So I had to know like, okay, like which 3 do I really want to try? All those things. And then God forbid you actually also need someone to help you with the service. You need to buy that wig in order to get the help with that wig and have it,
exactly.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Exactly. All that stuff. I mean, it's the worst. I'm like, why do I need to beg someone for service? And I'm, and then you know what the issue is? We settle for it because 1, it's the only option, right? But, and then 2, like they know at the end of the day, we're going to spend our money there because we have no place else to go. There's nobody else selling wigs. There's nobody else selling Target. You can't get a wig cap from Target. You can't get a wig from Target. So that's why we're left treated horribly, because there's no other option.
And they have the volume. And I also know, I think it's important that you mentioned about the pricing, because to me, I justified the pricing because this is a small mom and pop owned business. So they can't compete with the giants of Target, et cetera, but you found a way in order to still be able to do and compete. So that's,
but you know what, they can compete. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, their community, they do a great job of sharing resources and, making sure that they spread the wealth, and they can compete honestly with the Targets and the Ultas and Sephoras of the world. But they just choose to take advantage sometimes. And that's the sad part about it.
Okay. Yeah. Let them know.
I mean, okay. So I just have to also just add this little tidbit in here. Okay. I love the fact that like there's wigs and the this and the that. And I love the fact that there's different colors and color options. Okay, so like I follow you guys on Instagram, obviously. And there's all these, you guys have like videos of people like trying on like it wigs or like U parts or like those types of things. And I'm like, oh my God, why does that look so cute? And it looks good. It's like, and it's not expensive. I go on the site, it's $35. I'm like, yo, what is happening? I need this right now. Okay, so I'm like, okay, but this is my problem. When I go into the wig game, into the hair game and the hair pieces, is the color of the, so I'm a natural redhead. So it's a little like dirty reddish brown. Yeah. And so I can't do like a natural black or a natural brown that like wigs and things normally come in. Like I need something a little light on the lighter tone to like even look good with my skin tone and like my freckles and like the whole look of how I am. Right. That's my issue. Sometimes I'm like, I love this. And then I'm like, but it's only in black.
I know. You know what it is? Like, we just did a huge wig order. We picked it up today, actually. When we do our wig orders and a lot of braiding hair and stuff like that, because it looks like you might be like a 30 or something. We don't order a lot of them. And so like, we'll order a lot of like the 1Bs and the 1s and the 2s and the 4s, the 30s and the ombres and stuff. We'll probably order like 1 or 2 and they get snatched up. That's the thing. So we need to order more.
You need to order more, Brittany. I need color, Brittany. Give me some options.
People love the color. You're right. We'll order more for you.
Within that space, right? So like, even though like, obviously majority of the people have the like 1Bs or like that black natural jet black hair, like, I guess, how do you find a way to service the people who do want like the yellows, the red, the crazy reds, or even just a natural blonde or a natural redhead to like come in and be able to like service that audience? Because it's smaller. So like, you know.
Listen, we take custom orders all the time. I always tell the girls on the floor, hey, if there's a customer who really wants something, let us know. We'll order it for them. I have no problem with that. Again, our needs are very unique, and our goal is to cater to all of our unique needs. So if there's a customer who really wants this wig in this certain color, I'll order it for you. So next time, if you're in the store, and I don't know if they didn't offer it to you, but if they didn't, let me know. And we'll make sure. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say, because usually they'll offer it. You know, hey, we can try to order this for you. And so we get those requests in all the time. And if the distributor has it, I'm always placing the order because we want to satisfy the customers. So I got you. Next time we'll order some more 30s too.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about, funding. Are you VC backed or?
No, we're not VC backed yet. I've been very blessed to not need to fundraise yet. I do have certain goals for the store in the next, 6 months to a year, but we've been owned by just me, my brother, my husband. We're family owned and operated right now. And yeah, I mean, I do think we'll probably need to raise, when the time comes, but fortunately for us, I haven't needed to go out there and ask for money yet.
Yeah, perfect. I think that's a blessing to be able to have like owned this company. I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like with my little eyes, I'm like, this store is popping. Like, the store is big. It's like people know about it, and especially because it's like really the only one in the Valley. People who live in the area are very much so like live in Hollywood, live in North Hollywood, live in Burbank, live in, the area. They are like going to Beauty Beez. Beauty Beez is definitely out there in the space. And so to be able to be owned by your family and not have to like ask for investor money, I think is like a huge blessing. But when that time does come, for people who are in that space of like, okay, like I do need funding, we need a little bit more money to grow in that type of space. How are you? I guess the first question is, in this current space that you are, how are you able to monetize and grow what you're doing? And then the second follow-up question to that is like, when it is time to go to investors, do you have a plan of what that's going to look like for you, considering that like the store so far is doing well, but like what would you use or do with the extra money or funds?
Right. So one, I will say, our first what do you call it, line of attack or whatever, is our revenue. So we've been doing very well. We've been very successful. Our customers have continued to support us. They've told their friends, they've told their family members, and those friends and those family members are coming to the store and telling their friends and family members. So we've been, very well received in the community and online too. Our online numbers are growing and doing really well. And also we have enough runway cash to, keep us afloat for a while. But when it comes to thinking about the brand and the store long term, it's something that I have been focusing on a lot lately. And to get us to the next level, we probably will have to raise a round or two of funding. What that next level looks like is what I'm working on right now. I don't think it's necessary to have a Beauty Beez on every corner. I don't see us, growing that way. I see us growing more digitally and trying to figure out a way to meet our customers, not just nationally, but internationally. You mentioned you were in Europe, a few years ago and couldn't, get your hair care needs. Well, we want to solve that problem. So we want to figure out how to get Beauty Beez to, the Black women in Europe, all the Black women in Africa, the little bit of Black people in Asia, so that's kind of like what our goals are for the short term and long term. Just being able to expand digitally, creating a platform for Black girl beauty, and bringing Beauty Beez to everyone around the world.
It's a good timing for all that. I do want to make sure too, like, yes, you're not VC backed now, but I think there is an element of a pitch that's needed even in a friends and family round, right? Like, so yeah, you said your husband, your brother, etc. Was it a simple, hey, I think I want to do this. Let's do this. Did you have to do this?
Oh, girl, no, I had to.
Right. Sometimes the hardest folks to convince is that friends and family.
Absolutely.
Like, girl, VCs, you give them a couple slides and they give you a couple dollars.
Right.
The family's like, no, right? I need to see where this money going. What's going on?
And I want to, so tell us about that process, because oftentimes that is folks' first step before they can.
Right. It is.
In touch with a lot of venture capital companies. It's, the people around them. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I first brought it to my family, they were like, "Oh, that's cute, do more research and tell me about it later," that type of thing. And then when I presented them with my research, my business plan, they realized I was very serious about it. But it took me about, first of all, I'm a go-getter. And if I have like my mind set to something, I'm going to do it no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is, but I'm going to do it. And so once I said that I was going to start Beauty Beez, I mean, I spent every waking moment dedicated to making it happen. And so I did my market research. I figured out what the beauty supplies space was, what people were doing in the space, what were the Black owned players, what were the Korean owned players, who were the heavy hitters, who were the decision makers, all that. I did my business plan, and I mean, I worked a long time on it. I pitched it to family members. I pitched it to like our financial advisors. Like, I pitched it to everyone. I talked to my girlfriends about the idea, kind of like my little market research, calling on my girlfriends, my family members, all the Black women I knew in my family, my friends, my network, and pitched to them the idea and wanted to know like if they would if this was an issue that they were having, right, shopping at these beauty supplies, and wondering if the idea I had was a viable idea. If I had this space for you and it looked like this and we did this and we did that, would you shop there? And they're like, oh yeah, most definitely, I travel there. And it came to be true. Like, we have tons of customers who travel from like all over the state. We have this one customer, like, she travels from San Francisco. She comes to San Francisco. She comes to LA for a lot of things. But every time she comes, she has to shop at our store. She's just like, there's nothing like this store in the Bay. Like, I have to shop at your store. And an older woman too. So I'm just like so blessed and so thankful that we have that type of loyalty and that type of support. But that's what they were saying. Yes, I would shop there. I'd travel, just shop there, just because I hate going to my local beauty supply. So I did all these things and, contacted a lot of people, got a lot of advice, and stalked a lot of people, stalked a lot of brand owners, brand founders, store owners. And then I just made it happen. And so I took all that, compiled it, like I said, did the business plan, did my pitches to my family, my husband, my brother. And then I was able to get the funding. I mean, I saved a lot of money and used a lot of my savings to start the store too. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. And like I said, I mean, I'm looking forward to the future. I do think there's a bright future for the brand and what we're capable of doing. And the next step would be to fundraise, whether it's from VCs, whether it's from intentional investors. It's more about finding someone who aligns with our brand values, our brand goals, and someone who's a strategic investor is what I would really want to say, that can help get us to the next level. Because for me, it's not just about the money. It's more about who can help us get to where we want to go, regardless of the money.
Yeah, we absolutely love that. And I mean, I think that like, even with, there's like one extra topic I just want to like touch on before we like move on, which is kind of like, I mean, like you said, representation, right? Like if you were asking your friends and family, like, if you saw this, would you want to shop here? If you saw this, would you want to do this? And I think that like, that's really important, representation. And I want to talk about like representation in the media and like how Black women hair is like looked at on TV or like in movies or in, like, I know, what was that Tyler Perry movie on Netflix that everyone was like going crazy about, the wigs looking crazy or whatever, like whatever, Fall from Grace.
Oh yeah, what was that?
And I think it's like really important because it was like little back, like funny story. When I was younger, I would watch like the Garnier, like, or Tresemme commercials on TV, the hair commercials, the shampoo, conditioner. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, oh my God, we have to get that product because I want my hair to look like that. And my mom was like, no, girl, sweetie, your hair has to already look like that before you. And I was like, not understanding that concept. She's like, no, your hair already has to look like that. And I'm like, no, you get this product, your hair looks like that. Like, right. That was my vision, because I literally had zero understanding of what my hair looked like compared to like what their hair looked like from a white girl or a Hispanic girl. I know. Whatever. And so now I love to see like Target has like a really big initiative around like Black people in commercials with Black hair care and like that type of thing. So like I kind of want to give everyone the floor to kind of like talk about their experience or like what they feel like representation of hair is in on TV or like in the Black community or, you know, on sets and that type of thing.
Yeah, I will say it's getting better. I'm the same as you growing up. You know, I was looking at people with, white women with, long hair that moved, it blew in the wind, things like that. And I would say with my relaxed hair, it could do that, but, it wasn't a true representation of like, Black hair, textured hair. And when I think about representation in the media, I always think about my daughter. She's 6 years old. And my biggest thing with her is making sure that she loves her curls. I don't straighten her hair. She wears puffs all the time. She loves her puffs. And she has Black dolls. I make sure that, she sees herself in the toys she plays with, in the TV shows that she watches, even in the music that she listens to. She recently, personal story, she's been watching The Wizard of Oz at school, right? And so she loves it. She was like, oh, can you play all the music from the song, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, yeah, whatever. But I'm like, have you ever heard of The Wiz? Right. And so she's like, oh my gosh, seeing like Diana Ross, and she's like, she has hair like me, like, and so now she's obsessed with The Wiz. She doesn't want to watch The Wizard of Oz. And I just think like me, reiterating that, her curls are beautiful and, her puffs are cool and unique, since she was 2 years old, has helped, with that representation issue that as Black women we face all the time. So she doesn't care, honestly. Like, she's not the type that needs to look like her friends or anything like that. She loves her curls. She appreciates her textured hair, and she knows that she's unique, and she kills it. Like, she loves it. And I appreciate the movement that the media companies have made over the years in making sure they, showcase, Black women in all of our forms, with locks, with braids, with, our natural hair, even with our straight hair, because it is important. And it's not really important for me anymore. It's more important for people like my daughter and the kids and the little Black girls growing up and who don't see themselves, on TV.
Agreed. Totally agree. And I think too, just like, I think what the media has done and what we all in our individual journeys have been able to do too, at least for me, I'm like, I just place so much less emphasis on hair, to be honest. Like I would chop it off in a heartbeat, like multiple times. And I think because you do, and you said you did the big chop too, like I did it a couple of years ago, was the first time. And after doing that, literally, I'm like, whatever. If it doesn't work out for me, I'll chop it off and I'll just try it again.
Right. Like, it'll go back.
Deep. It's just not that deep. And so like, that's what I love about it too. But when we talk about representation, I just want to talk too about representation in the products that you have in Beauty Beez, because what I think through, especially knowing that there's a lot of folks out here that are just creating their products in themselves and it works for them. Amazing.
It works for them.
It works for them.
It
amazing.
Works for them.
Amazing. But I also think like, it's not, this industry is not very regulated. Like we don't FDA regulation, cosmetic industry in general, it's just not very regulated on purpose. And so oftentimes there are a lot of like, truthfully, there's a lot of like, studies that are out there already that know, you mentioned relaxers is one of them that I didn't know about, but a lot of other products, can be linked to this or that, major disease later on, or just in general. It's like, does this product need to be on the market right now? Like, do we need a lot more testing? So when you decide on what products you want to place in your store, what's your criteria outside of potentially it being Black owned?
Yeah. So honestly, our curation process is very simple. My thing is, does the product work? Is it effective? You know what I mean? If you're saying this product gives you juicy curls, let me try, or let my team try, and let's see if it really does give you juicy curls. It might give you juicy curls on 4C hair, but maybe not like 4A hair, whatever. That's fine. But does it work? We want to know the brand story. I do feel like the conscious consumer is very important nowadays, and they want to know, who's behind this brand, who's behind this product. So does your brand have a story? I mean, it doesn't need to be some rags to riches story, or I was sick and I found, no, but what was the inspiration behind your product? I'm a sucker for good branding. Does your product pop on the shelves? I don't want some, ghetto label, that you printed off in your home office. No, you have to spend money on your product packaging and stuff like that. Again, it needs to pop on the shelves. It needs to look clean. It needs to look modern. It needs to look beautiful, in whatever aesthetic you choose. So branding is very important to us. And then again, the main focus for our products is the efficacy. We want Black-owned products. Like those are products that I do like to highlight, and I do like to promote in our store. But sometimes not all the products are Black-owned. Eco Style Gel is an amazing gel. It's like my favorite gel. It's not Black-owned, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But
Eco
it works.
Style Gel, like I'm just gonna go on the record and say it just does not work for me. Like,
Really?
I'm like, y'all were talking about. I'm like, I'll let it slide. This one. I was like, I'm gonna let it slide. All right, 2 out of 3. But it does not. I'm like, but that's funny. It's a trash gel to me. Like it really.
And that's the thing. It's like the extreme gel.
We have the extreme.
The Eco Booster one?
No, it's a different brand. Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't work for me. My friend, she has beautiful hair, beautiful curls, like, and she was like, try it. And I said, okay. And I tried it and I was like, it just dries my hair out. So I get it. Like, it just isn't for everyone.
It depends. Right.
Yeah. And that's the same with all the products. And that's the beauty of our store, because the girls at our store can tell you if it's going to work for you or not, because they have, different types of hair and different textures and stuff like that. So what was the question? I forgot the question.
You answered it. You did it. I know. We jumped in there. Right. So, you're right. Cause the girls, shout out to Bray. She's my girl.
I love Bray.
I absolutely love her. Came in completely connected, and she was helping me find products. And I told her, I said, maybe I'm like, do I want to say which ones aren't working? I mean, they're mine though. It's fine.
Yeah, no, tell us. I mean, that helps us because we'll have customers come in and be like, girl, this did not work for me.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, okay. But we take them into note. Okay, this didn't work for her hair and she has this hair type. Let's make sure, you know, everyone knows that. And, you know, we can warn the next person.
Exactly. Like Miel, that brand to me, for me, doesn't work. Also, Shea Moisture doesn't work for me either. Like it doesn't give me moisture. I'm like, I'm looking for the juicy curls, like you said. I'm looking for the vibes. And I was like, that wasn't it. But Brie hooked it up with TGIN. I call it Tegan, but like TGIN, it is one of my things that I'm like, okay, I really like this brand. And I see also on their page that like they do have people who are with the 4C hair and like the thicker
absolutely,
which really does help. Like mine's not 4C, but like it's close enough in between that and the whatever else. So I'm like, okay, well, if it's gonna work on that, it's definitely gonna work on mine. Like, so it's great because I'm like, there's definitely some products where I'm like, this is no, my hair's still
and
dry.
you know, and that's perfectly fine.
And I'm
perfectly fine.
If there's any other eco style users who 4C and does it, amazing.
See, I'm 4C and I love a good eco style. I'll just slap it on, you know, tie my hair up, and my stuff stays for days. Yeah, but it ain't everybody. It ain't everybody.
I be telling Kayla, I'm like, I think she's just really like modest with the product. I'm like, maybe girl, you need to slap a little more on.
You have to like, slather it on there.
You gotta get it on there. She's real modest. She like, ooh. I was like, girl, that's not enough.
You know what it is? I'm great with the oils and the moisturizers, but when you come to the gels, I'm like, because then you gotta commit. That's the problem. You gotta commit. Probably what it is. You gotta commit with it.
You gotta commit to it.
You gotta commit.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, what else should people be committing to, Akila? Because we need to know.
Yes, commit to the Black Creators Club. Okay, we work really hard to do this show, and the best way that you can support us is to share this show with a friend and to subscribe to our YouTube page on Apple, on Spotify podcasts. Literally, we are on all the things. Everything is at the Black Creators Club. And when you do, we really love ratings. We love you to leave a review as well. So make sure to do both because it really goes a long way. You know, we want to know what the people think. We talked about it with Beauty Beez, so let's talk about it with us. We need that feedback. We'll read fan shout outs on air. And also if you have questions or suggestions for future guests or topics, let us know by contacting us at theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com.
Perfect. Y'all all got that. I hope y'all was taking notes. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to move on to our game. Okay, so we named the game Beauty Beez versus Beauty Don'ts. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we want you to name top products that are in your store that could use X. We're going to name a scenario, a situation, and we want you to name a product that you think would work best, or maybe a range of products, since we talked about that, you know, it could,
or just the product that you think of, right? And then also, if you can, you know, also name something that you probably shouldn't use for this thing. You don't have to name the brand specifically, but like, you know, something that you shouldn't use to deal with X or Y situation. When we go through
it. We'll give you these. So the first thing is hair breakage. My hair is breaking off. I don't know what to do with it. I've tried everything and it just still coming off in the brush. What product should I be using?
Okay, so when you think of breakage, I think you need like more moisture maybe in your hair. I'm thinking like a mask. TGIN has a really good hair mask. It's the honey miracle hair mask. It's very good. What you want to do is you want to put that mask on. We also have this, you want to apply heat with the mask, which would be really good for just to seal in that moisture. We have this hot head. It's called a hot head, but it's my favorite part of wash day. So you put the mask on, you put like a cap, a plastic cap over your head, and then you put this hot head over your head. You put the hot head in the microwave for like a minute and a half, and it traps the heat, and it just feels so good. It's just like, it's better than like being under the dryer. I like to use it because I'm more mobile, just doing my deep conditioning with this heat applied to my head. It's perfect. Then after you wash it out and stuff like that, with the breakage, you might want to try using different tools. So my favorite tool is the Felicia Leatherwood brush. It's like this brush that has like the bristles move as you detangle. And so it's supposed to be less stress on your hair and the strands and less breakage. So that's kind of what I would suggest. And things to avoid would be like chemicals, like, you know, try not to put any color in your hair. Try to do protective styles maybe after you do the whole heat, the conditioning treatment, things like that.
Wow, we got a whole lesson.
I love that. I love that. I didn't even know there was like a, what did you call it? A head mat?
It's called a it's very popular now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, head hat. I used to have this like this when I did do the curls and the girls and all that. I had this after you do the pre-poo thing and the mask that you mentioned, there's like another, it almost looks like a dryer, but sit under it and it's literally heating.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what you're saying is a portable version.
It's a portable version. That's why I like it better.
When you do that. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so what about, it's funny, like we were just talking about it, laying the edges. If you want to lay your edges, what do you do?
Okay, so I would use, I love a good, edge control. Now this one, some edge controls work for some people, some edge controls don't work for other people. One of my favorite edge controls, it's a Black owned edge control. It's called Black Panther. It's really popular out here. You don't like it? See, that's what I'm saying. Some people love it, some people hate it. But with all the edge controls, there's another one, Style Factor. It's really popular out here. I love it. It works really good on my daughter's hair. The Black Panther doesn't work good on my daughter's hair, but the Style Factor does. But there's so many edge controls out there. So you want to figure out which edge control is right for you. Some people use Eco Style gel for their edge control, or some Gorilla Glue for their edge. You like Gorilla Glue?
You like Gorilla Glue? No, girl. I never tried Gorilla Glue. I ain't trying to end up like Gorilla Glue girl. It don't move. But I might try the Black Panther or the other one you were saying, the Style
Factor. Yeah.
Style Factor. All the names.
I'm an edge booster.
I can't imagine Eco Style on to layer edges. Like I really want the 4C women to stand up. If you use Eco Styler to layer edges,
right? I don't, but apparently, yeah.
I can imagine.
You know what it is? Actually, if you lay it on your edges and then just put something around your, like a hair tie, it will stay. It actually will stay. But yeah. And then my favorite tool to style my edges is the Baby Tress edge brush. Love it, and it always gets the edges right.
Brittany, please, everyone needs a little baby brush thing.
Yeah.
I was traveling one time for work and I forgot it at home, my little edge control brush. And I said, oh no. So what I did, dummy, I went, yes,
you need a toothbrush,
but I got a little baby toothbrush because I thought it was cuter. And I got it and I was like, this ain't doing it.
It's not doing it. It's not doing it.
Once you get used to the edge control, like little with the hard bristles.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the bristles that make the difference.
Right.
You can't go back. Okay. So now that we've laid the edges, now what if we ain't got no edges? How are we getting the edges back? Like, what should we be doing to get the edges back?
Okay, so my favorite hair growth oil is the old classic tried and true Wild Growth oil. I love Wild Growth oil. We cannot keep it on the shelves, and I think because all the girls in the store like it too. But I'm
gonna tell you to put it to the side for me. Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. Okay. So yeah, applying that on your hair at night, rubbing it in, massaging it into your scalp, wherever wherever you're thinning or whatever, I think will help. But I mean, you can't go wrong with hair growth oils. We have a lot. There's so many. What is it? Miel has a really good one that I use sometimes. It has like a little peppermint in it, so it feels good. There's just so many. All the brands have them now.
What is in the hair growth oil that's specifically branded hair growth oil? Like what makes it?
The wild, I have, you know what? That's a good question. I have no idea what's in it, but I just see it's the only one I see like real results with. And then, like I said, we recommend it to all of our customers and people, they just come back and keep buying it. You know, but there's also things that you should do. It's not just putting the wild growth hair oil in your hair at night. You know, make sure, you know, with the braids, you're not, you know, braiding your edges. You're not pulling your edges. You're not manipulating your edges. Make sure you give your edges a break every once in a while, because
definitely your hair wrap should be silk.
Exactly. Yes, a silk or satin hair wrap. It's always good. Yeah, because your edges will come back, but if you keep, you know, messing them up, there's going to be a point in time where they do not come back.
It's like that eyebrow. You wax too much of the eyebrow, it's over.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the girls from the 90s, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. Doing those thin little eyebrows. Lord have mercy. Okay. Your next assignment is defining the curls for the girls. We need to define some curls, and let's even give it a little bit more of a challenge. It is a 4C hair type.
Oh, that's me. So that's easy.
Yeah.
So defining the curls. It starts with the moisture at the bowl. So like making sure you have a good shampoo, a good conditioner, doing your deep conditioner with that hair mask. The TGIN hair mask is always good with the heat and stuff like that. You want to put in a good leave-in after you rinse that out. Some of my favorite leave-ins, I know you don't like Miel, but Miel has a really good leave-in. The Dew is a really good brand. They're the ones they're my go-to for the juicy curls now. They have really good leave-in. I'm trying to think who else has a good leave-in. TGIN has a good leave-in, but what I love, I think the biggest thing with the juicy curls is the gel or the cream that you use. And for the 4C girls, I recommend the Dew has a really great gel called Big Papa. It's amazing. The brand in and of itself is amazing. When you talk about great branding, like the Dew does it well. They name all their products after like 90s rap, R&B hits and stuff like that. So that's why their gel is called Big Papa. But it's just, you want to finger rake your gel in the Big Papa gel into your moisturized curls. And I use that Felicia Leatherwood brush, like I said, to help define the curls too. But I love the gel because it's not only it only gives your curls a good hold, but it gives them shine and it lasts for a long time. Like it's my go-to wash day gel. So that's what I'd recommend.
Good tip. And the last one, you know,
I think we have another one. I thought of another one. So go ahead. I got another
breaking news.
Coming.
So the second to last one is damaged hair. Let's say if your hair is just fucked up. Like what do you do to just get it together, child?
I mean, it goes back to the deep conditioning mask. The TGIN, like I said, is a favorite. They actually have a more potent version. I forget what it's called. It's like Repair X. So it's like the TGIN Honey Miracle Hair Mask Repair X. So that's when your hair is totally fucked up and it's a Mayday situation. So you use that. Also, I always do those. I mean, those Dr. Miracle little packets, hair mask packets.
Wow,
I love Dr. Miracle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a throwback, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic, but I like it. And I like the tingling feeling in the Dr. Miracle's products. Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing with our hair is just moisture, keeping moisture in it. And a lot of people will tell you get moisture at the bowl, meaning find a good hydrating shampoo, conditioning shampoo, and then go in with a good, moisturizing conditioner, and then follow that up with a deep conditioner, some type of treatment to lock in that moisture in your hair. And you're just gonna have to keep doing that until, you feel like that damage has, grown out or went away.
And I just want to emphasize too for folks, like, give it time. You get that one product, it doesn't work after 2 tries and you're on to another product. It's like,
no, give it time.
Saying just give it time before you're able to say it doesn't or does work. So
yeah, I would recommend if your hair's damaged, do a few, like when you're washing your hair, whether it be weekly or bi-weekly, make sure you keep doing that deep conditioner. You're going to shampoo, condition, and then do the deep conditioner for a while. And you'll see that damage go away.
Nice.
Okay, so last but not least, okay, because we're not just hair care, we're beauty. It's all about beauty. So tell us, okay, I need something for my skin, my face. Okay, it's not pimply, but like maybe I'm just having like discoloration or happening. What would be a good skincare product that you have at your store that you would recommend?
Okay, so hair care is definitely my thing. Skincare is not so much, but we do have an amazing esthetician that works with me who I'm always calling over when people have these major skincare issues. But one of our favorite products in the store is Hyper Skin. It's a Black-owned product. It's a vitamin C serum, and it's going to target like that hyperpigmentation. It's great for acneic skin. It's great for oily skin because I have oily skin. And so one of those serums you can put on your face in the morning or at night. It's not going to clog your pores or anything like that, but it's going to help give you clear, brighter skin after, using it for a few weeks. I love it. I'm always seeing results. We can't keep it on our shelves. It's one of our best-selling products. And again, it's a Black-owned brand formulated, specifically for your issues, those acne marks, the hyperpigmentation, things like that. So I'd recommend Hyper Skin.
Love that.
Nice.
Okay. And I also just want to give you a moment to just, kind of say what's coming up next, but also talk about the recent event that you had at the store with Itika from Old Vine Floral. And we want to give her a shout out because we also had her on the podcast. So we love her.
Yes, love Itika.
It was beautiful. I mean, I know she's all about the flowers. I know you guys had the flower crowns and all the things. So please tell us about the event and what's coming up next for Beauty Beez or new products coming in the store. What can we look for?
So, oh my gosh, it was such a beautiful event. Itika reached out because she was launching her candle line. If people don't know, she is like the best florist out here in LA, Black woman-owned floral company out here in LA. And so she launched her candle line, fragrance line, and she wanted to sell it in our stores. And we were truly honored to be hand selected by her. So we had this beautiful event to celebrate the launch of her fragrance and the launch of her candles. Like you said, we had a scent bar, a bouquet bar, we had like massages. I mean, it was just truly like a beautiful like wellness event. Everyone loved it. It was great. And her candles are amazing. They're already sold out. We got to go back and order some more because they're just beautiful. So yeah, it was a really great event. Shout out to Itika, Old Vine Florals, and Old Vine Fragrance. It was very lovely, and her products are amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. Amazing.
So what's next for Beauty Beez? Just having more events like that, like, reaching out to more brands, especially Black-owned brands, and collaborating with each other and growing the brand, having more events, and yeah, we never know what the future holds.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had Brittany. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so happy and honored to have you here. Like, as a Black woman entrepreneur who's really paving the way in the beauty space for a beauty supply store, you're really making history right now. So you should definitely give yourself a pat on the back, a round of applause.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We've learned a lot. I need to watch it back so I can take notes because there was a lot of things.
Right. There are a lot of stuff, the products, the backstory, and just really just the talk about beauty today when it comes to Black women from 3 different perspectives, Black women and our own journeys with our own hair. So that's amazing. Brittany, let our listeners know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me at Beauty Beez. So we are located in North Hollywood off of Laurel Canyon. If you are not in the LA area, you can always shop us online 24/7 at beautybeez.com. You can follow us on all of our social. It's Beauty Beez Store is their social handle. And yeah, you can follow me too. It's B middle underscore. Middleton is my maiden name. So it's B middle underscore. And yeah, I mean, this was great. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for your support. Thanks for coming to the store, all the good stuff. Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Keeks, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me chatting media and life motivation, all with a dash of style at Aquila Friend.
Yes.
Where can you find me?
All right, you guys. And I also need to go to Beauty Beez. My mom's been bugging me all week to go. So now I got to go make a trip. I'm going to be there tomorrow. But you guys can find me on Instagram at EbonyChapman12, talking everything Black-owned business. And of course, the Black Creators Club, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Continue to follow us next week. And you guys, remember to always abide by your ABCs. Always be creating. Bye, guys.
Bye. That was so cute.
Yay! Brittany!